How's it going, everyone? I'm Ethan RTA. With me, I got my co-commentator Franco. This game is called All Night Nippon. It's essentially a ROM hack of lost levels because it keeps the lost levels physics and fireworks and stuff, but it uses levels from SMB1 and lost levels, and it even changes up those levels a little bit. And we'll get more into the game details after we get this thing started, but just want to start off with a countdown. If all the racers are ready, going to begin in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, we're off. So all of these runners are top 10 in SMB1 Warpless. Just to give you an idea of how insanely good all of these guys are. I mean, GTAce is the record holder for SMB1 and this game, but these guys are all just incredible runners. If they make any mistakes, they can just get right back on their feet without issue. Like they know where all the power-ups are, and it's a treat to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would not consider myself good at video games in the slightest, but I do consider myself a bit of a fan of the sport, and as that, I think all four of these players are really fun to watch, and specifically in these kinds of event scenarios, I think that GTAce especially has been known to perform pretty well when he's in these kind of clutch situations.
Oh yeah, all these runners, man. I've seen them do amazing things in races. And to start off, the reason why they're getting a mushroom and a fire flower, it might seem kind of weird because you're like, oh, they're wasting time. No. But the reason why they're getting that is that if you kill Bowser in 1-4, it's actually faster to kill him and then touch the X rather than just running past him and hoping you get good hammers, you know? And SuperSonic just making a slight mistake with his jump and getting hit by the Goomba. But like I said, by the end of the level, he has his fire flower again, and it's no issue. One thing I want to point out, if you're not familiar with lost levels, the way that fireworks work in this game is that you look at the ones digit of your coin, so SuperSonic has a 2. If he touches the flag with a 2 at the end, then he would get fireworks. So the ones digit of your coins, if that matches the ones digit of the timer, you're going to get fireworks. And that kind of brings in a cool mechanic to the game, because in SMB1 you don't have to worry about your coin count at all. You can just do jumps wherever you want. But in this game you actually have to keep that in mind, and you have to route around the time that you'll get by doing a level optimally versus like your coin count. So it's kind of a cool addition to the game.
So I actually wanted to ask you about that. These the SMB1 levels, but with lost levels, physics, and mechanics. It sounds like the interaction between those two might not be fully explored here. Like there might be a lot of opportunities here to use some of these cool mechanics to save some time here.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it's hard to say because I feel like Lost Levels introduces higher jumping for that's the main difference, and all of the SMB1 levels were designed without that in mind. So I feel like for the most part, they don't really have to change up their strategy if it's an SMB1 level, I would say. But yeah, even the SMB1 levels, they just throw in like random pits, they change the spots of items, they just throw in a bunch of silly things. And not to mention all the design changes. So this is called All Night Nippon. This is actually based on a radio show that's still going on in Japan today, but with the same name. So the bushes in the background are changed to mics. A few of the characters were changed, like the Goombas, the piranha plants, and then at the end of every castle is a unique character.
Yeah, so I feel like we should explain a little bit of what you're seeing here, because I'm sure that to some of the people who don't know about this, it could be a little bit jarring. So the Goombas specifically are a really fun one. They reskinned the Goombas to the face of this Japanese DJ named Sun Plaza Nakamoto, and he is still making music to this day. And for those
like 75 too, just going ham.
Yeah, both him and the piranha plant guy are kind of like pillars in Japanese media here. And if you wanted to hear some of Nakano's music, I would recommend going to YouTube and just typing in Nakano Runner, and he makes some pretty epic,
he makes some bangers,
stuff.
You know,
he makes some bangers.
He knows what he's doing. And dude, they're nailing these water levels. Water levels are so stressful because you don't necessarily know where the cheats are going to be. And even what the cheats do are dependent on... It's kind of complicated, but there are sprite slots, and that just represents where... It's just telling you what enemies are loaded in that part of the level. And depending on when they're loaded, it actually gives them a different property. Like, you'll see some fish go up and down, some just go straight across, some slower. So it's actually pretty unique, and just like the fish in the last level, they don't know where these cheeps will appear. So they do have to react. I mean, some of them can be put in really nasty positions. Like with SuperSonic, they can make it have a harder time to get over other enemies in the level, and it's just, they can be so brutal, dude. You don't know what's going on. And something that I meant to mention in the first level is that the Mario Bros. 1, Lost Levels, and since this is essentially one of those games, they all run on this concept of a frame rule. And that's just every 21 frames, or 0.35 seconds, the game just looks to see if you're at the end of a level. And if you are, then it loads the next one. If not, it just starts the frame rule over again, counts another 21 frames, and then if you're there, it goes. And this is significant because you'll notice that the runners are within like less than a second of one another, or like getting to levels at the exact same time. It's because they have this 0.35 seconds to work with. You can only lose time in those intervals. So even if you get to the end of the level at the beginning of a frame rule, you have to wait the full 21 frames before it loads the next level. And that's just a huge thing that can really determine who's ahead, because it does not take, like, seriously, 0.35 matters in a game like this with such amazing runners. That it really matters.
So at what point do you have to start kind of taking some risks to regain that frame rule here? Because it's not just as much of like a linear time save, it seems. It seems like if you're falling even just those 3 seconds behind, it could be a way bigger deal than it seems.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I don't know. These guys are so much better than me at this game. I don't know if they have the same issues, you know? But I think the power-up grabs at the beginning were like the first point where it could really change the lead in that regards to losing a frame rule or not. But also the Bowser kills. Like, you will see them do some stylish kills, sometimes jumping into like the platform to set themselves up in a good position to shoot Bowser. But dude, if you have a fast Bowser kill, that can make a world of difference between, you know, first and second or whatever place. So that's something you should keep an eye on.
So it sounds like the introduction of these frame rules kind of gives this 1,000 different ways to finish a run here, because it seems like there's so many tips and tricks and so many different frame rules to keep track of. It must be really difficult to kind of keep that while still having the mechanics of the game to be aware of.
Well, I do want to say shoutouts to jumping through the platform in 3-3. For some reason, I've never done it, even though apparently you just jump through it without issue. I'm just too scared, but they make it look simple. It's free. And I would say, as far as like keeping track of frame rules go, it's not so much something you necessarily have to track, so much as just a way to know how much time you're gonna lose. Like in Mario Bros. 1, you would keep track of them because it's such an optimized game that you can actually determine like patterns and RNG in a level. Like 3-4 actually in SMB1. If you knew the frame rule you were on, you would know how to jump around these Podoboos and you wouldn't even have to slow down. It's amazing. Like there's an entire spreadsheet just to document frame rules. But since they don't know what they're on, they have to. You get to see a glimpse of their impeccable reaction time and just style. They're schmoovin'.
Yeah, they're schmoovin', so to speak. I want to give a quick shout out to Noritake Kinashi, who you are seeing right at the end of the level 3-4. One of the various Japanese celebrities that gets skin swapped with Toad.
Dude, also, if you saw GTAce, just like, he made a slight mistake in hitting that block, and he almost got hit by a Spiny, but he just reacted, shot it, and then just went on with the run, man. It's just, nothing phases these guys. They're all in 4-1, like, they're doing great.
And I feel like you have to do that in a race. It's all about confidence and making sure that you can trip but not completely fall.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And I honestly really like 4-2. Like, you can choose, there's like this concept of the bottom route or the top route, and the bottom route is just obviously cooler. So keep an eye on that. Hopefully everyone takes the bottom route just for the style.
For those of you who are curious about the little flag that comes up at the end of levels, that is kind of like the Fuji TV logo, so to speak. It's called the Fuji Sanke, and it's one of the other things. I think it's that, and the star gets reskinned also to another logo, but I'm not sure if we've seen one yet.
No, I would be surprised if we did see a star. Like I said, they have fire. They're looking comfortable. Probably won't get to see a star, but you never know.
So a star in these kinds of runs seems kind of like a last-ditch effort thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, man, honestly, it's embarrassing to say I don't even know where the stars are in this game. So I really don't know when they'd be when they would utilize it in the first place. But 4-3, I'm not sure. This is the case in SMB1. You'll notice they changed a few of the platforms. But in this level, you have to hold right the entire time. You don't want to tap left at all, or you'll lose a frame rule. So this is one of the times where like, oh, you barely slowed down? Okay, you lose a frame. Oh no, and SuperSonic just barely missing his jump and going into the pit, dude. It's a bummer to see that. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we just got right back on track. I mean, there's still like over half the game left, so...
So, 4-3. Dying here means that you are Little Mario again. Is that a great deal?
Point. Yeah, that's actually a huge deal, because everyone else is already in the castle. he's going to lose time because he has to fight Bowser the normal way, and is not able to save time, essentially, over the... So I believe that's, like, around 2 seconds of time lost. And also, the 4-4, it's a maze level, and they actually changed the maze pattern from SMB1. Just a little bit. They added... Like, this part is so strange that Supersonic is doing. We have to reveal an invisible block. They tried to make this as difficult as possible for you to figure out.
Oh, this reminds me of one of those Super Mario grieving levels that everyone kind of failed.
Yeah, it's a Mario Maker level, basically.
So 5-1, right after this level, I think is when things are going to start to get real wonky. After 5-1 or 5-2. So far we've seen Mario levels with Lost levels physics. But after 5-2 is when they start just straight swapping levels around from the games, right?
Yeah, you'll be seeing... I don't know how to feel about the choice of the levels, too, because, like, they didn't just straight up replace them. Oh, nice bullet dodge by GTAce in 5-2. You don't know what that bullet's gonna do, and the fact that he dodged that was really clean. And so Mars and Jeremy just got around that without issue. But, yeah, it's interesting. I thought they would choose all, like, the harder levels. Oh, we see a star right now, as soon as we talk about it. Of course, he actually knows where one is, unlike me, and shows off the star and how useful it can be.
Oh my gosh, little Mario just tanking through all of these enemies.
Oh, that fire grab by Mars was incredible. Dang. And like, if you do lose your power-up and you manage to get it back that fast, that's a big deal. Because, like, look at the lead that Ace has right now, because he just hasn't gotten hit or anything, and he's just, you know, like, such moving, you know?
Yeah, dude, Ace is just blowing through this, and Bullet Bill hit. Is that intentional to keep the momentum going, or is that...
No, so these Bullet Bills are frame-dependent for when they spawn, and it's, yeah, absolutely something that they definitely want to avoid. And actually, I meant to mention it. 5-3... It's 4-3 of Lost levels, and there's a really wide gap that it's so much easier as Big Mario, because you have a slightly bigger hitbox, so that actually really helps out for a level like that.
And we see GTAce heading into 5-4, which is actually 2-4 of Lost levels.
Yeah, which is weird. Like I was saying, I think it's an easier level than the normal 5-4, so I'm curious why they decided to do that. And what happened with Jeremy is, depending on your subpixels, at least this is the case for the All-Stars version, you can run off that block and survive, but it didn't happen to work out that way. I believe it's just subpixels, because I have run off that and landed on ground without an issue. And then Supersonic's having a slight struggle with 5-1, or 5-3, excuse me, and having to restart, unfortunately, back to the beginning of World 5.
Oof, it's brutal. And it looks like we're seeing GTAce really start to pull ahead here.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you say that, because while he's pulling ahead, Mars does have the Fire Flower still, and he's also in 6-1. So, yeah, I mean, he is still ahead, though. But...
Looks like just as you say that, GTAce is getting the Fire Flower back, and doesn't seem to have lost too much time from it.
Yep, and then Jeremy's gonna join them in World 6. Shortly. And you can see, I may have missed it if there was another bridge collapse animation, but that's an example of, like, the time loss that happens if you don't have fire. Ooh, that Bullet Bill was out for blood with Supersonic. Oh, man.
Oh man, and call me a bit of a simp for Nintendo here, but I really love the idea of doing an official, like, reskin of a Mario game in a pop culture kind of setting.
Yeah, could you imagine doing that today?
Absolutely. I was gonna say, this show, the All Night Nippon show, from what I was reading on it, it seems kind of like a late show, or like a late show kind of thing. It's still going on, but it was from like 1 to 5 a.m. and they'd have these celebrity guests. And so, if you would imagine today a game coming out with, like, I don't know, Alec Baldwin on the screen or something like that.
Yeah, I would buy it in a heartbeat.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
No question. Dude, 6-3 stresses me out so much. I mean, I'm sure that these guys are fine, but... And 6-2, like, God, it's just so cool to watch these levels. Just sniping countless enemies and making it look easy.
Skill and style coming here from all 4 players here.
Absolutely. There we go. And Supersonic's gonna be making his way to 5-4. Very nice. Oh, and 6-4 is actually 4-4 from Lost levels.
Yep, this is another start of a... Ooh, a clip!
Oh yeah, he jumped through a wall. So it's... I can't do a great explanation of that, but if you jump and hit a wall jump pixel, and your like head is in the wall, the game allows you to walk. I know that was a terrible explanation, but that's basically what's going on. You're close enough to the ceiling that the game is confused and like thinks you're in the wall from touching the wall jump pixel. Wow, good on Supersonic for slowing down and avoiding the Potoboos and like that pit. Well done.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine there's a good amount of level of improvisation and quick reaction times when it comes to these kinds of things.
Oh yeah, especially the castle levels in particular. All those Potoboos, what Bowser does, like that's what I'm saying. They have to react to Bowser and the Potoboos and make it fast. So that's crazy.
Oh, that's why I love watching the Lost level ones. I like there's a certain amount of like skill and like a huge amount of optimization that goes into like the SMB ones and the ones where it's more like straightforward, but I love the ones where you don't know what you're gonna see until you start the level.
Yeah, that little bit of variance is so exciting. And I'll tell you, when you're running the game, it's not as exciting. It's terrible, but yeah, when you're watching, it's a treat.
Oh, we see GTAce heading into another water level here.
Yeah, this is 6-2 from Lost Levels, and it's a very tricky one. The water levels are no joke in Lost Levels.
Yeah, the squids, right? They spawn at a certain... I'm gonna get massacred for saying squids, but you know...
They're bloopers, first of all. Yeah, the bloopers, so they can spawn when they're chasing the direction you're going, so they can actually follow you, or they can spawn and just go a random, or like whatever direction they were initially going. I don't know that it's random. But yeah, the bloopers are a pain. Luckily, in this level, they're not too bad. But yeah, really to get around them, it's so tricky, and like you can think you're gonna hit them and then you don't, and that's always fun.
Man, Mars is starting to close in on GTAce here, but you have to think that the Fire Flower is gonna make a bit of a difference here.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's gonna take like over 2 seconds, I believe it is, to grab both power-ups, so it's gonna be really tricky. It's tough to say. Ooh, dodging the cheap sheep. Whew. I'm curious where Supersonic is gonna get another power-up too, because I know they switched around some of the power-up locations. I don't know the exact ones. Oh, that's showing off the lost levels. He's getting a super jump. That was nice. Oh man,
absolute stylist.
The madman. Yeah, see, these cheap sheeps are such a pain because like you literally have to slow down in some situations, or you're just going to get hit. Like there's nothing you can do about it. But he gets through it unscathed. Doing well.
Oh, I'm just starting to notice those little microphones by the tower there. I noticed the trees are kind of reskinned like a microphone, but those are just straight up like boom mics.
Yeah. Once again, they did change the maze for 7-4. Ooh, man, Supersonic dodging those flames so well. He did 6-4 extremely well. I wanted to say 4-4, but he did 6-4 super well. Oh man, the lag being made in 7-4 is so funny. Like, Nintendo did not care. They're like, no, we're having all these hammers here. We're gonna slow down the game, it's fine.
Oh man, I think that one is my favorite celebrity out of them.
Yeah.
He looks kind of like a bomber guy from the, Bomber Guy games.
Bomberman? Is that what you're trying to say? Nice, yeah. Dang, this game is just being brutal to Supersonic right now, and the Hammer Bros are so another addition. In SMB1, they would have stayed in their spot and not approached him, but because it's
they
lost
follow
levels,
you sometimes.
Yes, they follow you, and it's so terrible to deal with. But Mars and GTAce in the final world, they're doing it, man.
And all the way up, so it looks like all the way up until 8-4 is straight SMB1 here. Yeah,
I think they do take out a few blocks or something here and there, but yeah, the levels essentially are from SMB1.
And GTAce holding the record for SMB1. You think he might have to be confident here.
he might be a little confident in what he's doing. I mean, and also because Mars only has small Mario, so that makes World 8 so much harder. And you can't just jump through the well, there's a strat that I'll mention if any of them are big in 8-4, but you need to be big to make 8-4 a little bit easier. I mean, the entire World 8. It's just... These guys are also amazing at any percent for all the Mario games, so it's not surprising that Jeremy is just doing pipe jumps, no issue, no big deal, he's just going through it.
Yeah, and I have to reiterate, these people make it look easy, and being able to watch this is so completely different from actually being up there and getting wrecked by those Japanese radio stars.
Yeah, man, I mean, Supersonic just make his way through World 7 without much issue, too. He's avoiding all the fish, and he doesn't even have a chance to shoot them or anything. He's just getting through there with Small Mario. Well done. Although 8-3 is not a fun one with Small Mario, I tell you what, all those Hammer Bros, it can be a nightmare.
Ooh, and just as you say that, Mars taking a hit and becoming 8 Small Mario on 8-3 here.
Yeah, they're relentless. They're kind of jerks, if you think about it. And like, so in 7-3, SuperSonic is going for a Mushroom and a Fire Flower. And like I said, you don't know where the Cheeps are gonna spawn, and they make this much more treacherous. You can literally grab the fire, and as soon as you grab it, just get hit because a Cheep comes up, and yeah, that's just the way she goes. Oh, okay, so on GTAce's screen, you notice he crouched before swimming. If you crouch and you're holding down for this, and then you tap swim, you retain Small Mario's hitbox. So that's why he was able to get under that fire bar. Ooh, and then just do the Hammer Bro was just being mean to Jeremy and just get some.
Mars having to wait a little bit on that fire bar there. That just happens sometimes.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing if you just slightly mistime it. Yeah, I mean, the castles, especially World 8-4, are brutal, and you have to play really well to get through them. Oh, so that's the clip I was talking about? If you literally just hold right from the beginning of the level, and just, you clip into the ground. And I appreciate that, that Ace, oh my gosh, he goes for the clip. He also just shot Bruce a few extra times for fun, and with a 2050 ending time.
2050, that's a phenomenal time.
What a beast. And Mars not far behind him, dude. Oh, so Jeremy hit the wall, and for some reason, if you hit the wall, even if you're holding right, it won't like push you far enough to land on platforms. I'm not exactly sure why. Your acceleration isn't enough, I guess, to move you forward. So unfortunately, it sent him back to the beginning of World 8 too, because he ran out of lives. But
actually, a nice poem.
It is a nice poem.
What a nice poem at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, SuperSonic getting back in third, so he has a chance. GG to Mars for getting that 2106. Well done.
Another interesting piece of trivia. This is the first game where Peach puts her hair up.
That's beautiful, dude. Who would have guessed? Amazing. Yeah, they aced it extremely well, getting hit and not far off record. And Mars with a couple of golds. I mean, I know it's his race splits, but still. You know, I just noticed 8-1 doesn't have the flag changed at the end.
Oh, that's...
Why? That's weird. I just noticed that. I don't... clearly, I've played this game. Clearly.
And it is just Sonic and Jeremy left, and they're actually kind of having a bit of a race of their own here.
I would argue they've been having one the whole time, too. I'm not gonna lie. Alright.
Neck and neck.
Yeah, this is so close.
Here.
But like, Jeremy doesn't have a mushroom or anything, so I mean, if getting through 8-3 is gonna be really tricky.
I know, it's the same deal that we saw with GTAce and Mars.
And I should mention, so in SMB1, if you just jump on the Hammer Bros head, you often avoid the hammer like it's no big deal, but because the physics are changed, he can't necessarily do the exact same type of kill on the Hammer Bros that he normally would do, because that's what killed him last time. He jumped on him, and it probably would have worked in SMB1, but the Lost Levels physics just sends him shooting upwards way too fast and is not very kind. Alright, both down to 8-4.
Dude, they're like seconds apart here.
This is awesome. Just a few frame rules. That opening jump in 8-4 is scary. You buffer in the jump to make it easier.
It looks like Sonic just nailed it there.
Oh, yeah. And you'll notice he didn't die from touching the very top of that piranha plant. They mainly have their hitbox at the base of the piranha plants. Okay, taking that part a little bit safer. But I respect it, dude. When you're at the end of a race, just play it safe and get it over with.
In the piranha plants, the reskin is purely aesthetic, right? There's no different.
Oh no! That's so unfortunate. The lead actually changed once again. Oh man, because he was set up well, because he could have just done that trick that Ace did, you know, just run off and run right under Bruce without an issue. So that's a big deal.
You got two baby Marios racing to the end of 8-4.
Oh my goodness, that was scary. Okay. This. Whew. Oh, and he gets a nice Bruce. That is the luckiest thing that could have happened in that moment, too. Would not have mattered if he had a mushroom or not.
Oh, and landing on that pipe.
This is great. I was kind of hoping he'd jump for it. That would have been amazing.
Oh, yeah.
GG, Jeremy. Well done. All right, Supersonic's not far behind.
Yeah, let's hope for a strong finish from Sonic here.
Yeah. Oh man, when Jeremy got to this part, I was so nervous. Dude. Please, hopefully we get... The first Bowser here we call Bruce. I guess that's just the lore of the game. So hi, Bruce. But Bowser... Let's just hope he jumps through the hammers, dude. Just imagine. Don't do it. Please don't do that, Sonic. That'd be a bad idea. Oh, he thought about it. Oh, is he going to kill himself and get it? Let's go!
Oh.
What a great finish. I love it, dude. Ending in style.
And there you go.
Oh, GG's, everyone. Oh, did Mars get a PB? Oh, no. Is that actually a PB? I saw someone say that in chat, but I believe these are his race splits, so I'm not sure. But, yeah, good stuff.
Got a PB. Pieces paved. Kingdom saved.
Yeah, what more could you ask for in a race?
Brought all of our runners. #1 gunners. This ends our trip.
Yeah, fantastic job, all the racers. You guys did amazing. Thank you so much for having us. It was a pleasure.
Thanks a lot for the awesome run, guys. And we are going to prep for yet another Mario run.